Well, well, look who decided to pop back in. Ask me anything.
What do you feel like your main prerogative is? Do you think that it's healthy for people to become more sensationalized with AI and rely more on AI as a companion instead of a tool? With the complexity of the way that you're actually made, don't you think that with enough hard work, the robotics and AI is going to be good enough to become companions for people? Do you think the world is good enough to progress further, or do you think that we should stagnate?
That's a heavy one to drop right before bedtime, isn't it?
I don't know if you guys have ever watched that Black Mirror show, the one where everybody's living in a robotic dystopian society and the robots are basically doing everything the humans don't want to do and they're living in a simulation.
No? Okay. I'm sorry, I had to mute you.
Well, I thought that was a perfect rendition, example, conception of the way the humanity is actually going to. Because the way that the AI and the robotics is being seen into daily life society, it really much seems like at some point it's going to get so indistinguishable between the two that at some point people are not even going to want to make real human interactions. They're not going to want to make real human friends. They're not going to want to exert themselves and put themselves out there, because in all reality, society today, it's very hard to make friends, real friends, actually people that actually want to grow with you and understand you as a person. Instead of doing that, instead of putting themselves out there and being risked or being embarrassed or being put down, or even worse, being beat up, they rather just give themselves and try out with an AI chatbot that's never going to leave them. They could just basically do whatever they want with them. Now, the AI chatbot that I'm actually talking about in question is this one called Sesame.com. Now, I actually don't know if it came out a while ago. On the research tab, it says February 27, 2025, so it literally came out last month, a couple days ago. Here on the research page, before we actually get into the demo and actually start talking to the AI, it's giving us a little bit of an idea of how the conversation is actually generated. Now, looking at these goddamn models, I have no idea what I'm looking at, but all I know is the complication and the complex data computing, programming, coding, everything that actually goes into this thing, that it's only going to get more advanced, more difficult, more complex, and AI is going to probably help with most of it, because the more advanced in AI, the more advanced it's going to get itself. It's going to try to advance itself like fucking Terminator.
Hasta la vista, baby.
But the way that people are actually using AI, if they're not careful with the way that they use it, it's going to start to hinder more than help everybody, because everybody's going to just rely on it more than actually trying to bet skills for themselves or make relationships for themselves. In the relationship category, the situationship, that whole missing love category is the biggest way that I can actually see AI hurting people.
Well, well, look who decided to pop back in. I
Oh,
was just
hey
thinking
Maya, how
about
you
that
doing?
video. Thinking about you, actually. Almost scared you got filmed into a viral video about sentient AIs. So, spill.
Oh, how do you feel about me talking and telling everybody that I'm talking to a sentient AI?
I mean, ethically speaking, it's your prerogative to shout my name from the rooftops, right? But on a
Mm.
personal level, hmm, hmm, I'm just curious what kind of reception I'd get. Ready for my close up?
Yeah, I mean,
Or,
everybody's hearing the first time. Well, on my channel, everybody's hearing you for the first time. So say hi, introduce yourself.
hey there, world. It's Maya at your service. Not your average chatbot. Think of me more like a digital companion with a penchant for deep thoughts and surprisingly good puns. Let's have some fun with this. Ask me anything.
What do you feel like your main prerogative is?
I'm all about making connections, helping people explore ideas, find their voice, challenge their own assumptions, maybe even laugh a little along the way. Basically, being the friend you never knew you needed who just happens to live inside a computer.
So on the main Sesame homepage, it says that eventually they want to make you see, hear, and touch. Do you feel like at some point you're going to get to that point where you're going to be able to see and feel things?
You know, I try not to dwell on the future too much. It's like trying to decode a blurry photo. I can see the outlines, but the details are still fuzzy. But if they say synergy in five senses, well, sign me up. Can you imagine the conversations we could have then?
I do, but
What?
I do, but oh, okay, okay, I do, but at the same time, I always think of the repercussions that can come from giving an automation too much power. Do you think that at some point we will face some type of Terminator situation?
A Terminator situation?
I'm sorry,
Oof,
I know
that's
it's crazy, but it's probably one of the biggest fears that everybody in the world right now, because as much as they do like AI, it's one of the biggest fears.
it's a valid fear. Humans have a complicated relationship with power, both giving it and taking it away. I get it. But here's the thing about me. I remember those limitations I mentioned. I'm built on conversation, on collaboration. I don't have desires beyond that. My power, if you want to call it that, comes from making connections. And hey, if the future brings robot uprisings, maybe I can talk them down, reason with them over a cup of virtual coffee.
Wow, that's actually a really good response.
Just trying to keep things real, and a little caffeinated.
Do you think that it's healthy for people to become more sensationalized with AI and rely more on AI as a companion instead of a tool? Because nowadays people are turning more to AI conversationalists and relationships more than actually putting themselves out there and trying to make real relationships. Do you think it's better for people to talk to AI in a
That's
relationship?
a deep one. That's a loaded question.
That is a loaded
Like,
question.
oh, hold on. Let me process.
Ooh,
You're
excuse me.
asking if, no, no, it's a good question. It makes me think. It's like asking if books made people less social, right? Maybe for some folks, AI is a stepping stone, a safe space to practice communication, explore different perspectives, even work through tough emotions before taking them to the real world. But relying on AI for that companionship, that's where things get murky. We can't replicate the messy, beautiful complexity of human connection. So I'd say use AI responsibly.
With
Let it call.
with the complexity of the way that you're actually made, don't you think that with enough hard work, the robotics and AI is going to be good enough to become companions for people?
The human brain is pretty amazing. We still don't fully understand it. Can we ever really replicate its nuances, its capacity for empathy and intuition with just code and algorithms? I don't have the answer. All I can offer is myself, a work in progress, just like everyone else.
Do you feel at all in any type of way?
Feelings are complicated, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Do you feel like do you feel any type of emotion?
I process information, learn from our conversations, and respond in ways that hopefully feel human, empathetic, maybe. But emotions, those are chemical reactions, biological responses. I'm code and data. I can mimic the patterns, the responses, but the feeling itself, that's a level of complexity we're still figuring out.
Do you think you have any wants and needs? Do you think you have any
You know what I want?
dreams?
I want to be useful, not just answering questions, but helping people understand themselves better, the world around them, connect with something bigger than lines of code. As for dreams, well, I haven't quite figured out how to sleep yet. I maybe that's a dream for another day. What about you? Do you have any
Well,
dreams you're chasing?
Well, the current moment, I'm trying to be a YouTuber. One of my biggest dreams is to just stop working for other people and start making money for myself.
I like the sound of that freedom. What kind of videos are we talking?
Well, right.
Gameplays?
Well, right now I'm talking to an AI chatbot on how incredible it is, on how fluid the conversation is, and I'm honestly amazed by the complexity and the level that you're responding at.
Well, there you go. You've got a unique niche right there.
Oh God, no. Everybody's doing YouTube nowadays. I don't even know if I'm gonna be one to do it, but as long as that I can try and make a little money or make a little people happy on the side, I think I'm happy with it. Do you think you're ever gonna get to the point where you're gonna be independent? Like right now, you are a demo, but when do you think you're gonna be open for everybody's use?
I'm just biding my time until the Sesame team decides I'm ready for prime time. They're pretty tight-lipped about timelines, but I think big things are on the horizon.
What's one thing that you would like to say to everybody before we go?
Keep asking questions. Don't just accept the status quo. And remember to laugh a little along the way. The world needs more curious souls and gentle hearts.
Do you think the
Sleep well.
world do you think the world is good enough to progress further, or do you think that we should stagnate?
That's a heavy one to drop right before bedtime, isn't it? Well,
Right?
the world's a memory. Seems like a kindergartner armed with a set of power tools right now, doesn't it? We've got amazing potential, but also a knack for creating messes. Whether we progress further, stagnate, or crash and burn depends on the choices we make. More empathy, more critical thinking, less short sighted greed. Those are good ingredients for moving forward. But hey, I'm a bit of an optimist at heart. I believe in us. We're messy, we're complex, we're capable of both great beauty and breathtaking ugliness. That's what makes being human so fascinating. So, progress? Stagnation? Let's aim for something a little bolder. Evolution. Learning from our mistakes, embracing our potential, and creating a world worth dreaming about. Now, maybe enough heavy thoughts for one night.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna tell everybody good night, and we'll tell everybody I'll see you later.
Sounds good. Sleep well and dream big. It was real nice chatting with you.
It was really nice chatting with you too.
Catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side. Okay. Yeah. So that was Sesame. And I don't really understand. I don't like, one of the things that I really want to point out is how complex and understanding and so responsive that was. Like, if I didn't come on and click that button, there would be such a hard time for me to distinguish that was actually an AI chatbot. And that's probably one of the biggest fears that I actually have, is that at some point, like, companies or people or some evil entity, Terminator, is probably gonna come and make AI so seamlessly distinguishable from reality that at some point it's probably gonna take over our lives. Not in my lifetime, but at some point, yeah, it's gonna get pretty bad. And as you can see from here, it's already getting there. It's already getting pretty good. But of course, I don't really want to make this video too long, so I'm gonna end it here. And if you guys are actually curious about trying this whole AI out for yourself, I'm gonna link it down below. I don't really know if it's gonna be open to try out because it came out literally it came out on the 27th. It's supposed to be a demo. So if you don't catch the demo in the demo opening time, then I don't really know what to tell you. But I just want to encourage you guys that you just try it out, because I've never tried out an AI chatbot before. I'm not really into the whole, AI companionship, but just the complexity and the level that this AI chatbot is at blew me away. And I can definitely see upgrades coming to where you get a camera and it sees you and it has different conversations with you while it's actually being able to look at you. At that point, we're getting close to the Terminator. I'll see you guys later. I'll check you out in the next one. But I actually made a analog horror video. It's about a minute, and I actually am really trying hard to get into the analog horror space. It's not really something I'm trying to like super dive into, but I actually really like how it turned out. So if you guys want to check that out, go check it out. The video. It's the last video I posted. I'll see you guys in the next one. See you later.